and we're in my kitchen, although you can't tell it's my kitchen because there's no kitchen tools all around me. All you can see is my calendar behind me, and now you know my plans for the next 2 weeks. But my kitchen's small, and this is the only way the setup's gonna work. I currently have the camera hoisted in the pack and play so that Jane can't get to it. She really wants to get to it. And here's what we're doing today. We are going to be baking some banana muffins. And the reason we're doing banana muffins is because I have these really sad, rotten-looking bananas. And who doesn't love to eat sad, rotten-looking bananas? Jane is looking at the bananas and going, because she really likes bananas. Let me introduce you to my pink binder. It is called the pink binder because it is pink. And in this pink binder are all of the recipes that we've made more than once that are stand out in some way that we think are really awesome. And that's about all I can say about the pink binder recipe book. It's very pink. The banana muffins are in this binder, so we're going to be following this recipe. As we go, I'll also be talking about how I've made many iterations of this with totally different ingredients than what we're going to be talking about today. Every time I make them a little bit different, so they always turn out relatively well. So hopefully they turned out relatively well today. So clearly I need to do this more because I didn't even tell you anything about the muffins. I just said, hey, we're making banana muffins, let's go party. These banana muffins are vegan. These banana muffins are tasty. They are oil-free. Now, I like oily muffins as much as the next person, but if I'm baking something that I'm going to be eating, I would prefer it to be a lower amount of calories so I can eat more of it. It's basically like my life hack. I don't cook with oil, and then I eat twice as much food as a normal person. I've also made these muffins refined sugar-free. I've used date sugar instead of regular sugar, except I'm not going to be using date sugar today because I don't have it. I was going to use brown sugar, which is what I'll recommend to you, but I don't know about you guys, but when you buy brown sugar, it just like randomly fossilizes. It was totally fine last week, and then it just decided to fossilize, so we're using white sugar today. This is the failure reel, when you forget you left a frozen banana in the oven, and then you try to grab it, and it falls. That looks moderately salvageable. First things first, we're going to turn on that oven to 350. We're going to add a cup of white flour and 3/4 of a cup whole wheat flour in a bowl together. Apparently I didn't film this, but I mean, I'm sure you can use your imagination with me pouring it. We're going to have a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon baking soda, and a pinch of salt to the bowl. And try not to think about the fact that your smoke alarm might go off at any minute because of the caramelized banana, and stir that goodness up. So you know how in those professional cooking videos everything's all like neat and tidy? This video is obviously not one of those, though I mean you probably already figured that one out. So anyway, I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of ground flax into a bowl with 3 tablespoons of water, and then I'm going to just let it sit for about 5 minutes or so because then it's going to get really, really goopy. The next step is to mush together 3 bananas to equal about 1 cup. And I'm actually going to share with you a little peeling trick that I learned from monkeys. You just peel it upside down. And it's actually quite a bit easier to do. I don't know why more people don't peel their bananas like this. But anyway, you mush it all in there, good to go. You're going to pop those bananas in a blender, or you can put them in a bowl and mash them like the caveman you are, but I prefer to be a civilized human being. Why are you getting excited about the applesauce? You're welcome to have some applesauce, child. Next step is to take one of those single serving packets of applesauce, which is about equivalent to half a cup, to use as an oil replacement. You pop that in the blender and then save a little bit for your baby. And then of course we want to add our goopy flax mixture to the blender as well. Add 1/3 of a cup of any type of milk, and then you pop it in the blender and give everything the old blend. Oh, but before giving it the old blend, remember to add sugar. Sugar is really important for baking. Go figure. It's like, it always reminds me of the one time my mom forgot to add sugar to pumpkin pie, and she pretty much never lived it down. So apparently that's the kind of thing that runs in the family. After blending, you add the wet ingredients to the dry, and then you stir it all up. Basically, you want to stir it enough that everything combines, but you don't want to stir it so much that it becomes stringy. You don't want to develop the gluten, because that would be good for bread, bad for baking. Muffin batter in my world isn't so liquidy that it drips, but it more like plops. Now, I wouldn't stress out about the texture, because they tend to turn out well even if the batter's a little on the thick or thin side. Finally, you add 1/2 cup chocolate chips or walnuts if you're that kind of person, but you do want to add something. I like using the mini chips because you get more mileage. Each bite ends up seeming more chocolatey. Now, I'm dividing this delicious batter between 12 greased muffin tins with no liners, because basically, I mean, you don't really need to use liners, except if you're making cupcakes, but muffins are obviously very, very different from cupcakes.
I always slightly underfill them and then go in and add more once I've filled all 12 muffin tins, because how sad would it be if you got to the 11th tin and then you were out of batter? I mean, who wants 11 muffins, right? So the good news is that these don't need to be beautifully dolloped into tins to turn out nice. As you can see, that's really good news for me. Oven time is 17 to 20 minutes.
Totally gonna eat the batter.
17 minutes seem to be enough for these bad boys, and I can tell because they're a little brown around the edges, but they're still nice and soft. But of course, we also want to do the good old toothpick test in the middle. If it comes out relatively clean with no goop, we're good to go. Once the muffin tin is cool enough that you can touch it without burning yourself, transfer the muffins to a cooling rack. Now, I like to use a knife to loosen them up, but these ones tend to pop out pretty easily. And you can see they're nice golden goodness. And yeah, pretty much the perfect muffin for a cold and wintry morning. You can really see the winter light filtering in through the window. I don't know, I feel like I'm narrating an Animal Kingdom thing. Who's that guy? David Attenborough? That's who I feel like I am.
Ah, yeah, look at that crumb. Now here's the moment of truth. Jane and I are gonna give these a taste test. What do you think? I'm already getting chocolate all over myself. Count to 3, 1, 2. You just dropped it. There you go. 1, 2. Are you eating it this time? Mmm. This is now the part of the video where you watch me and my child eat. They're not super sweet. I'm gonna chew and not talk with my mouth full. They're not super sweet. Most banana muffin recipes you're gonna find are like 3/4 of a cup of sugar or so. So I've not only reduced the sugar, but, well, actually that's the end of that sentence. I've reduced the sugar so they're not quite as intense. Because I like it, and I think with the chocolate chips, that's enough sweetness. I don't need anything more. Plus there's bananas and applesauce in it. Like, how much sugar do we really need? Another thing that you can do is you can use all white flour, and they're going to be a little fluffier. Or you can use all whole wheat flour, and they'll be a little denser. And I've done it both ways, and they come out fine either way. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the full whole wheat ones, but if you're like, I don't know, feeling diety, and that's something that you want to do, then I've done it before and it worked. But most whole wheat baked goods are just going to be a lot more like dense. The other thing with fat-free cooking, I don't know why I said that like I was just talking about fat-free cooking, is that they're not going to keep as long. Oil acts as a bit of a preservative and it'll make your baked goods stay fresh longer. These have a shelf life of a couple days before they start getting kind of stale. So what I usually do, since I can't eat 12, well I can, I choose not to eat 12 muffins in 2 days, is I freeze them. And then I just pull them out of the freezer when I want a muffin fix. These muffins are Jane approved. Oh yeah, mmm. Must be nice to wake up from a nap and then get to eat muffins. Babies live luxurious lives. Mmm. Is it good? Thanks for watching today's video, even though it was kind of a disaster. I had a lot of fun with it. Let me know if this is something that you want to see more of in the future, or if you're just like, Allysia, seriously, stop. Just let me know your true thoughts and I can take it. I'm thick-skinned. I can handle the truth. I had fun, so hopefully you did too, and I'll catch you in the next video.